What they do, Dolphins representatives, it's your boy Dave Wave of the Big Fish Network, home for Miami Dolphin fans worldwide, back with another episode, back on your monitor, back in your speaker, back on your Gorilla Glass with a lot to talk about. OTA started on Monday, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. On this video, I'm going to talk about the signing of Chosen Anderson, formerly known as Robbie Anderson, and I got a bold statement and a bold move that I would make if I was Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer. A lot of y'all gonna think I'm bogus when I say it, and y'all probably saw it in the thumbnail. Like, why does he have this man on the thumbnail? What does that have to do with the Dolphins? I'm gonna talk about it in this video. Y'all just make sure and click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you can hear it first. Now, back to Robbie Anderson. Why am I happy that we chose the chosen one? Because if you look at his total stats, 375 receptions, 672 targets, 4,956 yards, 13.2 average yards per rec, 29 touchdowns, 205 first downs. His longest play was 92 yards. Now, you can break down his career in two different time frames: the Jet seasons and his Panther seasons. His Jet seasons from 2016 to 2019, he had 207 recs, 3,059 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 84 first downs. His best year, in my opinion, in his career is his Jets 2017 season, where he amassed 941 yards from 114 targets, 63 catches, and he averaged 14.9 yards per rec, 7 touchdowns. That's his best season to me, and I'm going to tell y'all why in a minute. But I watched that Jets 2017 season tape. He ran all of the routes that year with Josh McCown as the quarterback, throwing him the football when they had Todd Bowles coaching the team. And you look at what he did. He was able to catch the football over corners, around corners. He was able to take the top off of damn near every single secondary that year. And he especially feasted on our defense in both games that we played him in 2017. And I can't wait to see him do the celebration where he jumps into the stands that's on the ground level, and he falls back in the chair with his hands back, you know what I mean, posing swaggy. I want to see him do that as a Dolphin. I hate it when he did it in our house as a Jet, but he's officially a part of the Aqua Gang now. Plus, he's from the crib. He's from South Florida. So I hope that we could see him recline all year in that chair. And not only is he damn near as fast as Waddle, and maybe a little bit faster than Sherfield, or maybe the same, but he's 6'3". He's 6'3", and if y'all been following the channel, y'all know I've been wanting us to find a 6'2" or 6'3" wide receiver who can play either the Jerry Rice or the T.O. role in a 49ers Walsh West Coast scheme that we can switch to depending on down the distance or based on the defense of the opponent that we're facing. In my opinion, even though Rice is the GOAT, Jerry Rice is the GOAT, without a doubt, I still think that T.O. is slightly the best West Coast wide receiver in the history of the game. I give him the slight edge because he's stronger and he could break more tackles than Rice. DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown, in my opinion, they're kind of the new versions of T.O. Robbie has the height, or Chosen, I should say. Chosen Anderson has the height of T.O. at 6'3", but he only weighs 190 pounds. T.O. was like 220, 225, I believe. So he can't really play the Owens role, but he could play the Rice role. Rice was about 200 pounds, maybe 205, I believe. And I would say the Rice and T.O. role are both similar. The only difference is that in the T.O. role, we would throw across the middle more. So T.O. would hit him across the middle more because T.O. was able to break those tackles and take a 5-yard, 10-yard slant to the distance. And if we could get him to consistently duplicate his 2017 season, we going to the Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years. You could bet that. To the Super Bowl, without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind that we are, if he could duplicate that or come even close to that. If you look at his Panther seasons, he played there for 2 years, from 2020 to 2022. He had 161 recs, 1,821 yards, 9 touchdowns, 49 first downs, and his best year with the Panthers was his 2020 season. He finished the season with 95 recs, 1,096 yards, and 3 touchdowns from 136 targets. His yards per rec dropped to 11.5, and he did have a big play, a big 75-yard play. Now, why do I think his Jets season is better than his best Panther season? Because in his Panther season, he didn't have as many touchdowns. He only had 3, and in his Jets season, he had 7 touchdowns. Plus, he had less catches. He did more with less with the Jets than he did with the Panthers. The Panthers, he had 95 receptions for 1,096 yards. And like I said, with the Jets, he was able to almost break 1,000 with just 63 catches. That means when he does catch the ball, it's chunk yardage, which is what Tua's going to be able to capitalize off of. Now, why is it important that I want us to have a T.O. or Rice type of receiver? Because for Tua, I want us to have the ultimate West Coast offensive machine. And right now, if you look at our wide receiving core as of now, with Waddle and Hill, we already can run the Marino West Coast offense. And Tua proved that last year. He can run any of the plays that Marino ran regardless, because he has the wide receivers to do that. Tyreek Hill is Duper, Waddle was Clayton, and with Braxton Berrios, we can make him the slot machine that we can kind of rotate in the slot on either side, left or right side of the offensive line. It really don't matter. But what I want us to also be able to do is run that 49ers West Coast scheme and be able to have a TO receiver, CO type receiver that we can line up on the boundary. That way we don't always have to have Waddle and Hill on the boundary. We can have Robbie Anderson on the left side with Waddle on the right. Or we can have, we could switch it up and have Robbie Anderson and Hill on certain plays, especially on 2 wide receiver set plays, either an I form, strong, weak, strong, far and near, if we decide to run them kind of plays, or in them tight bunch sets or them tight sets that McDaniel likes to run. He, like I said, with the speed that Robbie Anderson has, he's just going to be a better option than what we already have as the 3rd wide receiver. Cedric Wilson, he's good. He has potential, but I think we need to get rid of his salary and we need to move on from Cedric Wilson. So I know y'all saying, well, damn, we got all these wide receivers. We need O-linemen. And I'm going to talk about the O-line situation in another video. But in this video, I'm telling you why I think we should replace Cedric Wilson and replace I would keep River Craycraft. I know we just signed him. We just re-signed him. But I would put him on the practice squad, or I would have him as maybe just a player that we bring in just in case, because he is an excellent route runner. But there's some options here. There's some options here with what we can do with this wide receiving core. And you look at his Cardinals year. I mean, he got traded to the Cardinals during his Panther season, and he didn't really do much. He only had 7 recs for 17 yards. And I think this is when he changed his name to Chosen Anderson. Now, I would give pros and cons also to him, but, he did miss a game or 2 here and there, but for the most part, he's played almost every game and he's produced. So I don't really see no cons. I don't really see a lot of cons. And on top of that, he's shown that he can be the lead dog or he can be a role player in an offense. Yes, he's 29 years old, but I also wouldn't consider his age as a con. And like I said, I think this move will take us to another level. Now, I'm going to make a bogus statement right now. I think we should sign Terrell Owens. Yes, I think we should sign Terrell Owens. Even though he's 49 years old, I would sign Terrell Owens. Why? Why would I sign Terrell Owens? Because even at 49 years old, a man can still play. we seen him with the Zappers. You know what I'm saying? We seen him with the Zappers in the fan control football league. We seen him running a race against Tyreek Hill. Even though Tyreek Hill beat him, he can still run. The man can still run. He's got a relationship with Tyreek. And he did an interview with Brendan Scarlett, who we used to have on the team a while back. I know y'all saw people talk about that interview, but I went back and I watched that interview with Brendan Scarlett when right before the 2022 season, when all the noise about Deshaun Watson was in the air. T.O. interviewed him to see, you know, are they going to move on from Tua, or what does a player inside the locker room think about Tua? And Scarlett had nothing but positive things to say about Tua. And T.O. even talked about how when he first met Tua, he saw his ability and he saw how skilled he was with the football, but he had some things that he had to work on. He was working with Tua in his first year, and he was showing Tua how to throw that bang 8 slant with proper ball placement. And here's a clip of what T.O. had to say about his work with Tua.
That's what we need.
Would you like to see Tua stay?
Yeah, I would like to see Tua stay. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's a good guy in the locker room. He works hard. You know, he's got an arm on him.
Oh, I already know. I told you before you sat down. I worked out I'm from Alabama. I go to the facility. I go on campus from time to time, and I worked out with him when he was a true freshman. This is when Calvin really and some of the other guys, Judy, they were still in college. I think this junior, senior year, and they wanted me to run routes. And so they were trying to get Jalen to come out there. They was like, man, teach us some stuff, blah, blah, blah. They couldn't find Jalen anywhere. So they was like, man, it's like, we just got a hold of Tua. And I was like, who? They said, yo, bro, they said he's the real deal. They said, honestly, they said if Jalen wasn't here, he would be our starting quarterback right now. I'm like, what? I said, as a true freshman? They was like, bro, just watch.
Right.
Bro, he came out there, dude. We was out there for about an hour and a half. Bro, he didn't miss a route. I corrected one adjustment, and that was on the bang 8, because when I ran on the bang 8, it's your 4th outside step. You know, that ball should be already gone as a quarterback. I mean, he doesn't play quarterback. You know, he throws
I know quarterback.
But he knows, you know what I mean? He already knows, too. Like, on that 4th outside step on a bang 8, that ball should be halfway to you or right there in your hands.
Right.
And when I came out, I saw him throw it, and it was a little behind. And I said, I said, I shouldn't see you throw that ball. That was the only correction I made. Ran that route again. Dude, I've never seen, as a true freshman, but I've never seen anything like it.
Now, in addition to signing Terrell Owens, to justify that signing, what I would also do is draft wide receiver Dontay Demus, who's 22 years old, from the Maryland Terrapins. He's 212 pounds. The reason why I was signed T.O. is specifically for signing him, for drafting him, because I think he can be a T.O. clone. I think he has the potential to possibly be another Terrell Owens. All we got to do is have a guy like Terrell Owens on our team, showing him how to be a replica of himself, showing Dontay Demus how to basically be T.O., and he can help Robbie Anderson run those Rice routes and show him how to be a Rice receiver in the West Coast offense for Tua. So that way, if you look at the roster, it'll basically be Tyreek Hill is the duper, Waddle is the Clayton, Chosen Anderson is Rice, T.O. as himself, Braxton Berrios is the slot machine, and Eric Nzukama as the gadget Deebo Samuel type of role player that he can be in this offense. And when you look at Dontay Demus, who, like I said, I would add him to the mix as well. When you look at Dontay Demus, when they scouted him, he's a high cut wide receiver. He has the size. He got elite arm length, soft hands. They're saying that he'll struggle to beat press coverage, but I think T.O. can help him with that. He's a long strider. That's what T.O. was as well. Meaning, at the line of scrimmage, he's not going to be as quick as a short, shifty receiver. But once T.O. gets started, once he get going, he hard to keep up with. And that's what Darrelle Revis said when they asked him, how do you cover Terrell Owens? He said that. He said he's a long strider. Once he get going, though, you gotta basically jam T.O. at the line of scrimmage as much as you can and try to basically just stop his timing. Once that man get off the line of scrimmage, it's over. It's over for you. And he's gonna embarrass you. And that's what he's done his whole career. But Demus, he's also, they say he's best suited for a layered passing scheme where he can stretch his legs and get separation. And he's an explosive leaper with the potential to be a good jump ball winner down the field. They also saying that, you know, he's a physical run after catch receiver, which is what I also noticed of him on tape. I watched all the wide receivers that's coming out in the draft, and I specifically chose him because he can break tackles just like Terrell Owens. Another bonus of adding Dontay Demus as well is because he played with Taulia Tagovailoa, which is Tua's brother. And I think Taulia Tagovailoa should be our selection next year in next year's draft as the perfect backup to Tua. What other backup could you find that would be a better backup than his brother? He don't have to worry about looking over his shoulder, thinking that his brother's going to try to take his job. It's not really going to be a quarterback controversy because that's his brother. They can train together. They can learn McDaniel's offense. And if Tua were to go down, we got his brother, another Tagovailoa. He's just a right-hander that's a little bit quicker than Tua, who can run them same plays that Mike McDaniel has in store. And I think and he has familiarity with Dontay Demus. He already knows how to throw to him, and he can show Tua how to throw to him on time. That's what I'm talking about. And you look at Taulia's stats: 3,860 yards in 2021, 26 touchdowns, and then he had 3,008 yards and 16 touchdowns last year. So I think it's the perfect setup. You get T.O. to teach Dontay Demus and Robbie Anderson how to run that 49ers West Coast offense to go along with what Mike McDaniel's already doing. And then you have Taulia Tagovailoa, who threw to Dontay Demus, as the perfect backup to Tua. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about this. I know y'all think I'm bogus as hell with saying that we should add Terrell Owens, as old as he is, but the man can still play. You look at all the slot corners right now in the league. I think T.O. can beat all the slot corners, all the third string corners and fourth string corners in the league right now at his age. I believe he can do that. And I mean, it'll just be scary. It'll be, how can you stop that? How are you gonna stop just those three? Waddle, Hill, and T.O. It's unstoppable. But again, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. That's all I got for this video. Till next time, signing off, TBFN. Fins up, baby.